In this presentation, we will print reports from our business and personal accounts after entering the data for January from the bank statements into the QuickBooks register. Reports including the profit and loss, income statement, and balance sheet. Here we are. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info. On the home page, we currently have the open windows open. We can open the open windows by going to the view drop down and selecting the open windows list. We're now going to go to the reports drop down. We're going to open up our main reports, the balance sheet, income statement, and also take a look at that income statement or profit and loss by class. Let's first take a look at the balance sheet by going to the company, going down to balance sheet, company financial balance sheet. We're going to change the date from 2/12/31/20, that's December 31st, 2020. We're going to print this out to practice printing them out and organizing them and to be able to use them to compare to other reports in the future. I'm going to do that by going to the print option. We're going to go to the print. We could print as a PDF, but I'm going to just print the report and use the Qt PDF printer in order to print it as or save as a PDF. That's going to be this Qt PDF printer. It's a free download if you wanted to look it up and use the Qt PDF printer. There's a good default printer to use, and if you just want to save a file and there's no save as a PDF function. So I'm going to go ahead and print that. What I'm doing is, of course, saving it as a PDF as I use the PDF printer. And once that sets up, I'm going to locate where we want to put it. I'm going to put this one into business. I put it under data files. I'm putting it into a business and personal folder. And then for January is where I'm going to put it. I'm going to change the name from Intuit to be a balance sheet. It's going to abbreviate for the business and personal for 12/31/20, something like that. And we'll save that report. We're going to do the same for the profit and loss now. So we're going to go to the reports drop down. We're going to go to company and financial and take a look at the profit and loss report. And I'm going to change the dates from 01/01/20 to 12/31/20. Here's going to be our profit and loss report. Now we're going to print this one out, and then we'll take a look at the profit and loss by class, which is really the main report we want to consider here. So we'll go then to the prints once again. We're going to print the report, which is actually going to save it as a PDF by using the Qt PDF printer. We will go ahead and print that. We'll rename it to P&L Business and Personal. And let's make this as of the end of 12/31/20. So, and it's really just January when we're looking at here, but we ran it for the whole year just because there's no other data at this time. It only has January's worth of data in it. So we'll say save. Probably would have been better just to run it for January. However, so if you want to run it just for January, that would be good too. But we're going to go ahead and go to the reports dropdown and company and financial and take a look at the last one we want to consider, which is the profit and loss by class. And this is the main one that we want to have broken out between the business and personal. 01/01/20 to 12/31/20. Here is our report. We've got the personal, and then the unclassified is the business. Again, we'll take a look at a few different ways that we can think about how to classify these accounts so that we can organize them in different ways that might be a little bit easier to look at. But this one, remember, we used the unclassified as the business default, and that's going to be the least amount of data input because it doesn't mean we don't have to put a class in every transaction in that way, and therefore there's a little bit less data input for it. So as we go through here, let's just check an overview of these accounts and see if we need to change any of them. So in other words, is there anything in the unclassified possibly that should be over in the personal? So we've got Amazon, Audible, audio, bank, cable, charitable, childcare, coffee. All of these are in the personal as we would think. Medical insurance, this is the liability insurance, medical costs, miscellaneous, the mortgage. That's something that should be in the personal side. So let's go ahead and move that. So I'm going to double click on that item. We're going to double click on that item here and then just change the class. Whoops, it's not going to be called class, it's going to be called personal. So that's how we can go through these items and just kind of update those too. If we miss the class, we're going to save and save. When we do the data input, we're going to close this. Then we can go back in here and move them over with this type of feature. I'm going to keep scrolling down and see what else we have here. So office supplies, payroll, personal telephone, personal utilities, postage, property taxes, rent, restaurant, telephone, utilities. That's where we will keep it for now. Note the relationship here that if we look at this 9,988, that's what's going to be on the balance sheet. If we go back to the balance sheet, refresh it, we're going to see this 9,988. Now that represents both business and personal. So just note that the balance sheet is grouping that into business and personal here. Note that the balance sheet is going to be an area that we cannot generally break up as nicely as the profit and loss under this method. So we can look at the activity, but not so much the balance sheet in terms of business versus personal. For example, the checking account, of course, has both business and personal within the checking account. The equity then, to some degree, is going to represent as well both business and personal. So as we do this, we're taking a look and we're being able to break out our activities, what we're doing from time period to time period, the measurement, the thing we're going to need possibly, most likely, for taxes for a sole proprietor. However, where we stand at a certain point in time is still kind of mixed together in that we have business and personal in the checking account, and of course we have business and personal in the equity as well. So that's part of what we would have to deal with if we're going to use the same QuickBooks file for both business and personal uses. If we go back to the profit and loss by class, then we can also see, of course, that this net income, total net income for the profit and loss by class should match the profit and loss just standard. So if we go back to profit and loss standard, we have this here. And of course, the profit and loss standard will include both business and personal expenses and income within it and won't break it out by class. We'll talk about different ways we can break out the income statement and different types of classifications a little bit later, so that we might want to see a more professional kind of or independent profit and loss report that looks like this, but only has business accounts or only has personal accounts. And we'll discuss how to do that. We would probably more likely want a formal looking profit and loss for the business, because that's more likely what we would need that format for. The personal side, probably we don't need it to look as nice because we're not reporting business profit and loss to other people too often, but we want to be able to track it so that we can get the information needed for budgeting and whatever other uses we're using it for. So we're going to go back to the profit and loss by class and print this one out. Go to print. We're going to print report once again to the PDF printer and print it. And here it is. I'm going to change the name to P&L by class. Business and personal 12.31.20. We'll keep it like that. We'll save that item. So now we have these printed out as the PDF format. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info.